What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a very special edition of Living in Tampa Live. I'm excited to be with you guys, mostly because it is the very first episode of 2025, but also because I'm excited for tonight's format. We'll get into that in a second here, but if this is your first time, welcome. We talk about all things that are Tampa Bay, what it's like to live here, what it's like to work here, what it's like to play here, the food, the dining, the outdoors, the beaches, and the sunshine. My name is Juan Alcala. I am a licensed realtor and a team leader here with the True Living Group, where we help people just like you buy, sell, relocate, and invest all over the Tampa Bay area and talk all things Tampa Bay. So tonight, that is our focus. We're going to talk about some cool things up and coming here in 2025. But more importantly, I want to say Happy New Year, Happy Holidays. I hope you had an incredible holiday season. I hope you had a Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah and all the things. I was able to spend some time with family. We were away for the last 2 weeks from you guys. It feels like I was separated from my community, and I was heartbroken, but I'm happy to be back with you guys. We're going to talk about some cool things. We're going to talk about the Florida State Fair that's coming up here in Tampa, which is going to be great. A really cool rumor about an outdoor hockey game in Florida. Stay tuned for that. That's going to be interesting. Also, we're going to talk a little bit of real estate. I want to kind of talk about 2025 and what you may expect here in the greater Tampa Bay area if you're considering either buying or selling here. I want to give you some of those insights, but also I really want to, I want to do something unique tonight. If you are a normal viewer of this live stream with us, first and foremost, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting this channel. It's been 3.5 years that we've been making videos for you guys. And it's allowed us to serve over 100 families and help you buy, sell, or relocate all over the greater Tampa Bay area. We are so grateful. But the thing I don't want to do is I don't want to take that for granted. So I've got a couple questions for you guys tonight that is going to make this format a little bit different. First and foremost, if this is your first time here, welcome. We try to make this as engaging as possible. I realize we're on YouTube and it feels like maybe you can't connect with me, but you can. You can connect with me and Stacy, who's usually here. She's having some technical challenges tonight. We'll get through that. But like jump in the chat and connect not only with me, but the community that's already here. You'd be amazed at how many people recognize each other in this live stream. So it's great. We want to welcome you to that. Secondly, I have a question of you. And if you don't mind, whether you're watching this live with us now or you're watching this in the future, my question is, if you are a viewer of this channel, what would you like to see from our channel in 2025? I have been making the videos, the way that this started was I relocated to Tampa Bay. 6 years ago, my wife, Kate, and I packed up over, our family of 5, sold almost everything we owned and moved here. We live right by Indian Rocks Beach. That beach stole our heart, but we moved 1,200 miles from Metro Detroit, and we love it, even with all the challenges and blessings that have come along with that. But 6 years was a long time ago at this point. And what I don't want to do is ever lose sight of the person that we serve, the people that we serve. And I don't want to take for granted that I know exactly what you should be seeing all the time. So 2 things that I'm going to ask tonight. Number 1, let me know either in the chat or in the description what you would like to see from this channel for 2025. Our content has been performing very well. We've got over 18,000 subscribers now. That's all great. But what is it for if it doesn't serve the people, right? And you're my people. I show up here because we love doing this and we feel so blessed and honored to be able to do this. And I don't want to let go of that. So my ask of you, do you want to see more property tours, specifically home tours? Do you want to see more community tours like that vlog or point of view style video? Or do you prefer the narrated, the talking head style where I'm in the studio like now, where I can really kind of get in the weeds? Or would you like to see a blend? Is there something else that we're missing that really would serve you well? So my ask of you as a community and as a viewer, please let us know in the comments below if you're not live with us. And if you are live, feel free to type away. Okay. And trust me, you're not going to hurt my feelings. If you didn't know the internet, people will say whatever comes to their mind. And just know that I will respond. As long as it's a legitimate comment, I will respond, and I will absolutely take those opinions to heart. So if you got specific areas or cities you'd like to see, we're in for it. Here's the one thing I will share with you. We don't have access to apartments. So you never hear me talk about that, because that we all have the same access, which is like apartments.com. Again, I can give you general ideas of areas because of the communities. We know the communities well, but I just don't have that insight. I'm not in apartments. So I just want to share. I'm always trying to be as transparent as I can. Number one. Number two, manufactured homes. When it comes to manufactured, or other people might know them as mobile homes, we don't have the ability to access those either. A lot of the times they're managed by the communities or parks, if you will, that they're in. Unless somebody outright owns the land, we don't ever get involved with that. So I'm sharing that with you because we don't know, all right, what exactly you guys are looking for. And I don't want to just make assumptions. So forgive the long-winded question here, but I really want to get specific of our audience, and just know that we have you in mind when we're building these videos. I'm not here just to talk and hear my voice. All right. If that was the case, we would go make videos like unboxing videos that millions of people would watch. But we love Tampa. We love sharing our community, and I want to continue to bring that value to you. But it would be so helpful to not only obviously me, but to yourself, if you let us know what it is that you're hoping to see from this channel this year. Okay. Because I will do my best to deliver it. Obviously, I can't do 100 million videos, but y'all, we're doing a video a week. We're considering going to 2 videos a week, but it really depends on what you're looking for as a community. So please don't hesitate to let me know. Okay. Let this community know. I've got a team here. They want to support, and we really want to deliver the content that you're looking for. So we'll give you those local insights. We're here to do that. We're going to talk about some of that stuff tonight, of course, because I got some cool news and notes, but I want to welcome you to the Q&A. Jump in the comments. I'm going to say hello to everybody here and get to your comments and questions. I want to get into that. Then I'm going to talk a little bit of real estate before we wrap up tonight. But again, today's about you. 2025, I want that to be the year of you. What do you need and want from us, so we can deliver that content to you, so you can get the most out of it, and really make qualified decisions about whether Tampa is right for you, or if you're leaving, right? If you need help with that, we're here to help too. So with that being said, let me jump into the comments and say hello to everyone. And I just really appreciate all of you guys making that connection there. Let me jump right in, and forgive me, I'm looking down, because what I noticed on these live streams is whenever I put the chat in the camera here, it shows this really weird haze. My dad asked me if I was sick. Crazy talk. All right. Corey, what's up, C-Bus, my man? Corey says, tuning in from C-Bus, take the snow away. 7 inches on my property and 24 degrees. Fire is nice, but ready to get to Tampa in September. Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, man, I made a post today on social media on Instagram that said, Dear Canada, your weather is drunk. It has followed the geese south. We need you to come get it. Sincerely, Florida. When I woke up this morning, y'all, it was 44 degrees or 41 degrees. Now, I know everybody hears that like, oh, stop whining. It's 20 degrees or 19 degrees. I hear you. The winds were 15 miles an hour, and they were gusting to 25. Now, anybody who's from any cold weather, you know that's cold. It felt like 31. And in Florida, it's broken. Okay, the heat was on today. It's a wild ride. We don't want any part of that. So, Corey, I need you to come get your drunk weather, because this stuff's supposed to hang out for like a week or something crazy like that. I don't know. It's nuts, man. But keep your eye on that. Corey calling out the other communities member. He says, Daddy, Denise, Chris, Vlad, Lobo, hope you all had a wonderful holiday season. You the man, dude. I appreciate you. I love the fact that Corey's that dialed in to our community here. And thank you, brother. I appreciate you, and I hope you had an incredible Christmas and a holiday as well. Okay, cool. Derek says, it would be cool to get more on-the-spot opinions and insight from locals when you're out and about. And dude, this is such a good comment. Thank you, first and foremost. Let me just tell you right now, I have tried desperately to get strangers to get on camera. But boy, do people get very uncomfortable when you start waving microphones and cameras in their face. I'm just here to tell you. And the times that I have been able to get that, the people say some of the wildest stuff that I have not been able to share with you guys. And I don't mean like negative. I'm not afraid to share negative with you guys. You know how it is. If someone has an opinion about something, but it's the way it was delivered, right? Some people are like they'll just say whatever's on their mind. They got no filters. So it's been a little bit of a challenge, but like the man on the street, man or woman on the street thing, if you will, dude, I would love to interview locals. So I'm working on my personal pitch of like how I get somebody comfortable, because what it boils down to, I think I'm going to start taking my cell phone, because when I'm out there with a real camera, it freaks people out. I think people are comfortable with a cell phone. So that's a great insight, man. I am working desperately to make that happen, because I would love, honestly, to be able to get somewhere between 2 to 3 locals on all of my local vlogs. That would be great. Hey, give us the pros and cons. I think that's very helpful to you guys, right? I always tell everybody, I'm not here to sell anybody on anything, right? We're a guide. We're here to help people. And those local insights are very valuable. So this is a great comment. It's a great ask, and I will do my best to follow through on this, my man. Okay. Just so you know, I'm going to do my best. Stacy's still trying to come in, y'all. She's struggling here. All right. West Pro Fitness LLC, my man. He says, I saw something about over 9,300 restaurants are in Tampa, I think is what you're saying there. Is that true? 9,300 in Tampa proper? No, there's no way that's true. The city's not big enough. In Tampa Bay, I'll look that stat up, and I'll see if I can find that specific stat. I'll put it in the description down below. Great question. It may seem a little bit high, but Tampa Bay is huge. You got 3.3 million residents. I mean, you're going to need, if you only had 10,000 restaurants, I think that would be tough. Maybe. I don't know. What's the average restaurant seat per day? Good question, man. That's a really good question. All right. Soul of Taurus 83. Shout out to Soul. I don't think I've seen any of your comments before, and if you have commented on this channel, forgive me, but welcome. Okay, so I want to say welcome. Same thing for you, West Pro. I don't remember seeing a comment from you before, but if you were here before, forgive me for not remembering, but welcome, and a happy new year. All right, Soul of Taurus says, tired of the cold weather, the gray skies, and snow. Indiana here. You're not alone. And if you've watched this at all, you know that Stacy's from Indiana originally. I'm from Michigan. We know our Midwestern brothers and sisters up there are freezing right now, and y'all are tired of it. It's the gray. I just went to Michigan for the holidays, y'all. Every other year, my wife makes me go. We get to see family. It's a blessing. But if it was up to me, I would never go back north outside of July and August in September. It would never happen. But you gotta make compromise when you're in a relationship, right? But we just went up there. When we arrived in Tennessee, there was flurries, and it was like 23 degrees. And I was like, this is nuts. I can't believe we're going into this. But it did warm up on the back half. It got up to like 50 degrees before we left. We were up there for about 9 days, I think. So I feel you on that. All right. West Pro says, I'm moving from Maine to Tampa in just a couple months. Moving over 1,600 miles. Complete restart. Well, welcome, my friend, because that's what we did too. So let me just say it this way. There's a lot of opportunity here for anyone willing to put their nose to the grindstone, work hard. There's a lot of entrepreneurs here. There's a lot of, obviously, tourism here. There's a lot of business here. There's a lot of opportunity in general. All right. So best of luck on that relocation, man. If you need help, feel free to reach out to the team. Contact information is down below. Oh, and let me put it on the screen too before I forget. Awesome. Got it up there. I always forget to do that. And I've been asked multiple times, why don't you put that up there? All right. Cool. So we got it going. Corey says, I'd like to see older homes in older neighborhoods, 50s to 80s. Okay. We would like to compare and contrast the new build neighborhoods versus older areas in and around Tampa Bay. That's a great question. All right. So new versus old, or buy versus build, if you will. One of the biggest things, Corey, for you and your family to keep in mind is that the cost of ownership on a new construction, when it comes to insurance specifically, is significantly less right now. Will it be that way forever? No. But right now it is. As an example, Stacy shares it with clients when on our calls. She just bought a home in Wesley Chapel in Epperson, in the Lagoon community up there. She's got a 3-bedroom house, big old 3-bedroom house, 3-car garage, brand new. And her insurance premium was like $1,200 for the year. And people are still calling us, telling us they can't get insurance for Florida. And I'm like, well, that's not a problem. You just have to pick the right areas. But absolutely, man. I love historic homes. I love the character. I don't like the problems. But I'm also somebody who really appreciates those established areas and neighborhoods. My home was built in 1977, so I get both sides of that, and I'm happy to bring that to you guys. All right, so great insight there. So we've heard man on the street so far, something you guys would love to hear. Interviews with locals. That's what was asked earlier. And then Corey's saying let's see some older homes, some established neighborhoods, if you will, and some more a little bit older real estate versus just new construction. So I got you on that, brother. All right. You should do a gluten-free restaurant farmers update, unique store walkability score videos. Okay, that's interesting. The specific restaurant stuff, we've tried some of those things before. Not a whole lot of people are into them because it's very niche. But I will say this: uniqueness, farmers markets. We've covered farmers markets in St. Pete before and Dunedin and those types of things. I absolutely can do more of that. And the walkability score video, that's interesting, actually. That is not something I had on my radar. So shout out to you, Soul of Taurus. Love that. I'd love to know your actual name, by the way. Don't hesitate to share that with us. But that's, hey, shout out to you. Walkability score video. I can put that in the queue for sure, because that's something that I haven't done yet. And I think that that's cool. That is one of those like point of view videos, like what's a day in the life of downtown St. Pete and downtown Tampa and downtown Dunedin. And like, that's good. I love that. It's great. Okay. Thank you. Lobo, what's up, my man? Corey was calling you out. He says, yes, me too. I'm already over the snow up here in Ohio. I didn't realize both you guys were in Ohio up there. So Corey's in C-Bus. Where are you, dude? Are you in Cleveland? Let us know. Central Ohio, where, just let us know. I'd love to know. Fantastic. Desiree, good evening. Good evening, ma'am. Desi says that, hey, everybody, good evening. Glad to see you here. Sassy but Classy's in the house. What is up, Sassy? Love that. She says, Happy New Year, everyone. I haven't caught a live in so long. Well, we've been gone for the last 2 weeks, so you get off the hook on that one. But totally understand when it comes to not being able to connect. You know, the time's not always the easiest thing in the world. All right. American Constellation. What is up, my brother? He says, or my sister. I live in Clearwater, Florida. My wife went to a dentist appointment today. It's a 7-mile drive. It took her 40 minutes to get there and 40 minutes to get back. Yeah, depending on where that dentist office is, that is not an inappropriate drive time. And we're in season. So I think that this is something that is important for people to understand. When it comes to coastal real estate in Florida, there are a couple things that happen in the winter. Number one, everybody flies south for the winter. Not only do the birds, right, those Canadian geese that we were talking about, but also the northerners. This has been going on for a couple generations. Okay, just so everybody knows. And I told you guys I went to Michigan to see family for the holidays, and when we drove down on the 30th. Because we had to be back for the bowl game in Tampa on the 31st. And when we got to Ocala, which is about 2 hours north of Tampa, the highway was almost completely stopped. And and the whole way down, all the license plates around me were Indiana, Ontario, New York, Pennsylvania, and all of those people converge on the greater Tampa Bay area and Florida in general. And this is what we call being in season. The drive times get longer everywhere local. When you go to Costco at, on a 2 p.m. on a Monday, that place is packed out with people who don't work for a living anymore. And it definitely becomes a lot more congested to American Constellation's point here. So I want to share that with you guys. So just keep that in mind. When we lived up north, it was basically a mile a minute everywhere we drove, give or take. Right? When you get on the highway, you can go faster. Even in the city, in some of the more congested areas, it'd be a little bit slower. But if it was a 30-mile drive to somewhere, you could probably be there in 25 to 35 minutes regularly. He just told you about a 7-mile drive that took 40 minutes. You got to be very strategic during season here. And season typically, it starts at the end of November and goes to Easter. Essentially, it can go as far as Mother's Day, but the heart of it really starts after the holiday season and gets really busy in February. All right. So just keep that in mind. It gets congested here after the new year. And Pinellas County, where he lives and where we live, has the highest population density in the entire state. Most people don't know that. So thanks for bringing that up. I appreciate that. And I'm sorry it took so long to get to the dentist today, but I feel you on that. When we go to Costco from Indian Rocks Beach area there, it takes us about 25 to 35 minutes, depending on what time we go. So understood. All right. He said, I did at Corey. Thanks. Hope you did as well. Okay, cool. I just want to make sure you guys are connecting there. All right. Sassy says, it would be cool to get updates and insights on folks you all help place in Tampa Bay area. Kind of like, where are they now? That is wonderful. We actually talked to a couple clients about this because, again, Sassy, not everybody's comfortable being on camera. I mean, your profile doesn't even have a photo on it. Right. So I understand this. This is a challenge. I've been able to interview a couple homeowners before, but most of them are not comfortable with that. But absolutely, if I can do that, I will do it. I think that that's great. Where are they now? I love that. It's a great segment. So we got walkability. Where are they now? Local interviews. You got great ideas. Keep them coming. I love it. I love it. Okay, let's keep it going here. I don't know what I'm going to say that. All right. Hopefully the doodle is the dog. That's what I'll say about this one. But that's a fantastic name. I'm getting ready to move to Florida in maybe 2026 when I finish electrical engineering school. Shout out to you. I was looking at West Palm Beach area. Would that be a good place to raise a younger child? Now, dude, this here's what I'll say. Every place has its pros and cons. And is it right for you? I don't know. And I'm very cautious to just hand out assignments about where the best places to live are without hearing what your ideal lifestyle is. West Palm is a very nice area. It's also very expensive compared to Jacksonville or Orlando or Tampa. If that doesn't affect you, so be it. Everybody's got their budget, right? Is it a good place to raise a family? Sure. My father-in-law lived in West Palm for a period of time before he moved further north up into Martin County in Jensen Beach. Loved his time there. I've got friends that live there. They love it. They're raising families there too. So it could be wonderful for you, but without knowing what your ideal lifestyle it's hard for me to make that just blind recommendation, just sharing my honest opinion. But it is a nice area. It is a desirable area. People seem to love it, but I know it has its cons too. The question is it right for you? So great question. Appreciate that. All right. I'm going to take this too, because I always like bringing this up when it comes to this. And this is a great example, Doodle, of what people say or what they don't. Not everybody's happy with people moving to the area, right? You look at the comment section in my videos and it'll say Florida's closed. And there are people who have lived here their entire lives that aren't happy with the situation. Also, they may not have the full perspective of what it looks like across the country. Maybe this is the only place they've ever been, and that's okay, right? Just know this. Just like anything else on this planet, for the most part, if you go looking for trouble, you'll find it. If you go looking for blessings, you can probably find those too. But just know there's going to be a mix of both people, right, and opinions about what's going on where you live. I've been here for the last 6 years. I love it. This person was born here in 1958 and hates it now. Or I'm sorry, that's probably a terrible term. They used horrible what's happened. I don't know what that means. Our family is thriving here. We love it. Unfortunately, this person doesn't feel this way anymore. I wasn't here in 1958. I wasn't on this planet, right? I wasn't even thought of yet. So it's going to be different for everyone, but you guys know me. I'm willing to share the truth. Just keep it clean, American Constellation. All right. Keep it clean. Okay. But appreciate the perspective nonetheless. Okay. What I would ask somebody like that is, what's horrible about it? Right? What is horrible about it? What you find horrible about it? What you don't like it being busy now? You don't like, different people coming. These are things that we have to get deeper on just before I, blindly assume someone's opinion is exactly what I needed to hear or didn't need to hear. So thank you for sharing it either way. Appreciate that. All right. Smitty on Ice. What is up, Smitty? He says, I want to move to Florida for warm weather, but I am skeptical about the hurricane. So I wanted to ask, should I live in North Carolina or Florida? Great question. I've never lived in North Carolina. However, love North Carolina, and also have lived through hurricanes. And if you've watched my channel, we're in the middle of rehabilitating our home because it was damaged from Hurricane Milton. So much so that we're living in an RV on our property while our home gets rehabbed and renovated. So if I can speak to this directly, I've been affected by it. My insurance is not covering it because we're not in a flood zone. And that home's never flooded in 47 years that it's been there. But this was the one time that it happened. So, we're seeing the worst of it. And Smitty, we're not moving. Okay. We love it here. To the exact opposite of what you just saw from a comment. Again, our family's thriving. We love it here. The vitamin D outweighs the challenges as of right now. If I lived through another 2 or 3 of these, would I be saying the same thing? I don't know, man. I'm not. Absolutes are very dangerous at that point. But great question. Carolinas are beautiful. Also, we were in the process of shopping for a second home in the Asheville, Hendersonville, that region over there. Prior to the hurricanes. So ended up not, obviously you guys have had some challenges up north there too. So when we talk about hurricanes, like you were just affected crazily, just like we were. So it's not like you get to escape everywhere. Keep that in mind, right? Keep that in mind. But thank you for the question. All right. Says, I want to move to Florida, warm weather. Want to make sure I'm still not reading the same question, Christ. Yep. Okay. Yep. Looks like it came through twice, but hopefully that helped answer. Brian Cook. Okay, cool. Pleasure to meet you, Brian. And be cool pickleball. All right. Lobo said, oh, so you guys are both in C-Bus. All right. Love it. Not proper. Usually most people aren't. The city's cool. I haven't been to Columbus in a while. The last time I went was for a hockey game. So I went down there, the hockey stadium. I was really surprised, but that was like a decade ago. So you guys are probably in an entirely different situation than now. But yeah, he said not proper. Okay. All right, what did he say here? B, how about the low ball but legitimate tactic? Are we there yet? I can close quickly. This is a good question. The answer is no. We're not in 2008 or 2010 or 2012 or anything like that. We're not anywhere near that. Is there downward pressure in Tampa Bay on housing prices? Yes. It is a buyer's market here in Tampa, but we are nowhere near it. I'll pull up some specific numbers on it, B, before the end of the live stream here and share that perspective with you guys. Okay, so you can actually see the hard statistics so you can kind of understand. There's always a deal to be had, just a matter of how hard you want to hunt for it, right? Always a deal. Okay. Desi says, I used to take the back roads all during season. Yeah, me too. Me too. I listen, I try to stay off all the main thoroughfares. We stay off of Ulmerton, off of West Bay. Like, if you're going to do any of that stuff, you're going to get beat up. But if you got to drive 7 miles, it can be a little bit of a struggle to get to where you're going. That's for sure. But she's spot on. The locals know where to go. We know where to go to fish. We know where to go to get on the beach without all the headaches. And we know how to make the back roads work during season 2. Love that. All right. Ronnie, what's up, my brother? Happy holidays. Happy New Year. Says, hey, Juan, do you work at all in the Orlando metro area? Ronnie, no. What I do is I've got a few agents over there that I refer to. One specifically that I absolutely love, but not everybody's cup of tea. But I have an excellent referral partner over in Atlanta. We have referral partners all over the state because, as you know, Ronnie, like people move here or they don't. They start looking at Tampa and they might end up in Orlando or Jacksonville or West Palm or Miami. So we do a lot of back and forth with other real estate agents. I've got a rock star real estate agent in Orlando. If you need to contact, you just let me know. Happy to help. Denise, what is up? Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. Hopefully you had a wonderful holiday. I know we were chatting it up during the holiday. Denise has got a friend also looking to move to Florida, and we made a connection for her. So to that specific point, Ronnie, happy to help anybody we can. All right. Denise also says they put me in my new construction home in Wesley Chapel. Yes. Yeah. Well, we didn't. Stacy did. Let's make sure we give credit where credit is due. I was an innocent bystander in that situation, outside of just being moral support for Denise there. But yeah, we happy to help. And she's been wonderful. What a great client. We're happy to have you in the family, so to speak. So thank you. And if y'all are joining us late, my question tonight was, what would you like to see out of this channel in 2025? Okay, if you're a regular viewer, if you're part of the live stream, normally that we jump on here and do, I don't want to just to make assumptions that I know what content you guys want to see. You know, like I said early on, it was easy for me. I literally was documenting my journey of learning the Tampa Bay area when we moved here. Like I would take my camera out and be like, look at this. This was awesome. And that's how I started this entire channel. And then it's turned into 3.5 years of serving you guys and 1.3 million views this year. I mean, wow. But really, I want to make sure that we're helping you guys understand or learn about what you'd like to know. So what do you want to see? You want to see more local tours? Do you want to see more community vlog style videos? Do you want to see more desktop? We got some great insights tonight. Interviews with locals, interviewing past clients. Where are they now? Denise is a past client. Maybe Denise will let us interview her. Because that was a great comment. Walkability, like that's a really good video. That's a great video idea. So thank you for sharing those. So I'm sharing this with you. If you're watching this live with us, feel free to put that in the chat. And if you're watching this later, put it in the comments, man. We are here to serve. And if you need help making that relocation a reality, or you're considering selling here locally, contact info is on the screen. Contact info is on the screen. All right. Let's get into this. All right. So Abby says, excuse me, Abby Cook, welcome. Good evening. She says, we are waiting to move from the Midwest. Proximity to the beach, access to great churches and farmers market, healthy food options are the top of our wants list. Awesome. Those are all lifestyle conversations. Love that. That's somebody who knows what they're looking for. What area would you look at first? Well, that you speak the same language that Kate and I spoke when we moved down here. She said, I need to be within 15 minutes of the beach. I want a pool at the house, right? And we focus on trying to eat as well as we possibly can. And we love farmers markets. So we ended up in Southwest Largo, the Seminole area, which is like Indian Rocks Beach, Indian Shores. The beaches are a little bit quieter there. Clearwater Beach is a little bit busy for me. St. Pete Beach is a little bit busy for me, and just has been a wonderful area for our family. Again, Abby, I don't know that that's perfect for you. I just know that you're speaking our language. That's where we ended up. Hopefully that's helpful. So if you need help, just let me know. All right. All right. Outdoors. I'm going to leave the other part of that here because YouTube loves to censor stuff when we get in there. It says, I'm a realtor. Can I join your team when you move there? We can have a conversation about it for sure. We always need a good agent to help serve our clients. So happy to have that conversation with you. Thank you very much for watching first and foremost. And yeah, reach out when the time is right, man. Happy to have that conversation, or lady, forgive me. Okay. Mr. Jackson, good evening. He says, what are some of the differences between Wesley Chapel and West Chase? Like things to do in the area, restaurants, events, and lifestyle. Great question. West Chase is smaller in terms of the number of residents, number one. The community is more established. West Chase was one of the very first master plan communities in Tampa, in the city of Tampa, actually. A lot of the real estate there was built in the late 90s, 2000s, almost all of it, as a matter of fact. In terms of lifestyle, they're similar. You've got a Costco, there's a wonderful park downtown called Bainbridge Park, the community center, the shopping centers. There's a similar feel, but West Chase is smaller. According to like School Review and Niche, the schools rate higher, but one's in Pasco County, one's in Hillsborough County. There's some nuance there. One is 40 minutes to Clearwater Beach. The other one is about an hour and 10, an hour and 20 minutes to Clearwater Beach. Wesley Chapel is definitely farther away. So those are some of the notable differences right out of the rip. Both are good. West Chase is going to cost you about $150,000 more on average for the same size home. So just keep that in mind. It's more expensive to live in West Chase, but both are great areas. All right. So just for perspective. All right. I think that hopefully is helpful for you, Mr. Jackson. All right. Ronnie says, I'll definitely let you know when I'm ready. I'm looking to move that way this summer, fall. Love the channel. Love you too, brother. Ronnie's been with us for a couple years. Ronnie's probably one of my very first live stream followers when I started doing this live 2 years ago. So shout out to Ronnie, man. And it'll be heartbreaking when you finally leave. We got to have that beer before you go. So you're the man. I appreciate it. Why Diggity? What is up? Why Diggity? Pleasure to meet you. Just found your channel when I was dreaming of living in Florida on these cool Michigan days. Laugh out loud. Greetings from Oakland County. Shout out to Oakland County. My dad lives in Rochester Hills, by the way. And I lived in a bunch of different areas, but I graduated from Plymouth High School. Lived out in Livingston County for a while. And then I also lived in Auburn Hills for a short period of time. So shout out to Oakland County. I still know Michigan very well. We actually have a team of real estate agents up north. My partner's there, and I have a team up there as well. So I'm back and forth all the time. But why diggity? Pleasure, and thank you for connecting. Appreciate that. All right. Is Wesley Chapel really the best suburb? Well, if you ask Denise, who's in this community right now, who moved over there, I'm sure she'll tell you one thing. Is it the best, Gustavo? Is it the best for you? Is the question. I always try to give people a fair perspective. It may be perfect for some person or someone, and not perfect for another person. So it's really about your ideal lifestyle. And I know I harp on that all the time, and that may seem like it's may even sound like vague, but it's not. We dial in people's ideal lifestyle very quickly. And what we try to do is when we jump on those Zoom calls, we spend a lot of time asking lifestyle questions. What do you do outside of your home? What shopping is important to you and your family? Are you a Whole Foods family or a Trader Joe's or an Aldi? Do you need Costco or are you Sam's Club? Like, these things affect people's quality of lives. I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. Do you go to parks regularly? Do you walk outside? Are you a runner? Do you love to fish? Because if you need to be in the water every day and we move you an hour and 20 minutes away from the beach, you're going to hate it. Right. So like, these are questions that really need to be answered to help people make qualified decisions. And our role is to be a guide. So what we try to do is narrow that down and then get you to the 4 or 5 communities that really match that ideal lifestyle that you painted for us. After that, the houses become pretty simple. They become pretty simple. So great question, Gustavo. Thank you. Appreciate it. Mr. Jackson says, good evening. What are some of the different? Oh, yep, we already did that. My bad. So maybe that duplicated. I'm sorry. White 80 says, I have friends and family in Clearwater and Tampa. They think I'm nuts for staying in Michigan. And I agree. Well, I just gave you my opinion. You know how I feel about it. It definitely can be tough. Gustavo says, what can I find anything decent in West? Absolutely. 100%. Right now, new construction, the builders are very aggressive. You can definitely find a 3-bedroom for that price range. Heck, right now, I'm pretty sure we can get you a 4-bedroom. It's too bad Stacy's not on here right now because she's always got the latest numbers dialed in. Gustavo, reach out to us. I can get you to connected to Stacy. I promise you, we can get you a brand new home up in Wesley Chapel for that kind of money. No doubt. Right. Don't hesitate. Contact info's on there. If you go to our website at tbhomesearch.com, you'll see a link, or in the description down below, it says schedule a time to talk with Juan. You can schedule a Zoom call there and we'll jump on and help you identify those things that make sense for you, my man. So don't hesitate to reach out. All right. Busy B. Good evening, Busy B, and Happy New Year. Says, I've been to Florida twice and loved it. I want to move to Tampa in December. However, I do wonder about alligators. We have them. Is there any information where someone to find out how many alligator attacks there are a year? I'm sure this is public information. It's going to be out there, guaranteed. When it comes to alligators, I'll share my personal experience and what our clients have told us too. So 6 years we have lived in our neighborhood. There is a retention pond in the center of our neighborhood where people actually take boats out and stuff. I have never seen an alligator in a neighborhood, and no one has ever reported one either. Now, that's one thing. That's just one perspective. If you go to one of the county parks that has a ton of natural waterways and wetlands, they're there. Don't even think twice about whether they're there or not. They're there. Golf courses, probably going to find alligators. These new developments out in the communities, I have clients that say, yeah, we've got an alligator in a retention pond. They're there. But what typically happens is they grow to a certain size and then the county will come and remove them. Now, I'm giving you a Floridian's perspective. If you believe that you're going to move to Florida and never see an alligator, that is probably not realistic. Can you stay clear? And is it pretty much obvious where you're going to find them? Yes. Is it possible that one randomly shows up? Of course, because you see them on videos, but I don't know anybody that's had that happen to. But it is possible. So keep that in mind. It's a great question because we were also concerned about alligators, but it's one of those things like we were worried about that and it never came to fruition, right? Yet, at least. Let me give a caveat because I think that's great. Welcome, y'all. Welcome. If you guys are just joining us, welcome to the first live stream of the year for Living in Tampa Live. Happy to connect with you guys. My question, again, I'm going to reiterate this, was if you're a regular viewer of the channel, or if you're new to the channel, what types of videos would you like to see from us in 2025? More vlog style video, more property tours, more talking head style where I'm in the studio like this. We've got some great recommendations so far. We got like walkability videos. I think that was a great idea. Interviewing past clients, like where are they now? Thought that was lovely as well. Also, interviewing locals on the street. If I can get them to get in front of a camera and a microphone, you got it. You don't have to ask me twice. I would love to do that. We've been trying to do it, but great question, or I'm sorry, great recommendation so far. Please keep them coming. Okay. Jane says, Mrs. Blanco, good evening. Hello, we are building our custom home in Lando Lakes and should be done at the end of 2025. How's the weather there? Is the solar, is it recommended and is it expensive? Okay. How's the homeowner's insurance? So first and foremost, Jane, if you're building a home, you should have an insight of what your insurance is going to cost you. Call your agent. Please, for the love of Mike. But when it comes to solar expensive, what does that mean to you? What I hear people spending on solar systems, it depends on the size of the house. Obviously, are you doing batteries? There's a whole bunch of different things that can come into play there. But what I'm hearing regularly is somewhere in the range of 25 to 35,000 for a whole home solar system. Is it worth it? I do know that the people that have them are paying very low energy bills, 12, 15 bucks a month, but they're making payments. So I'm always intrigued as to like, how's this working out? Because I didn't make the purchase. I don't know what the finance charges are. Sometimes people think that they're saving money by not spending it on energy, but then they're paying $250 or $300 a month in interest. So I don't, it's a good question. If you're asking if it adds value to the property, if it does, it's nominal. The appraiser's not going to give you a $25,000 additional credit to that house for having solar on there. And if you have roofing problems in the future because of storms or wind, now you got real problems because the roofing company is not the solar company. The solar companies do a terrible job of servicing them. I would just be very cautious. Make sure you have a lot of 5-star recommendations and proof before you go slapping something like that on your roof. That is my recommendation, because ultimately what I see is when you go to sell that house, most of the time they're not paid off. And then we have to work through that process with either our sellers or our buyers to get that paid off, because most people are not going to assume your payment or the leftover balance on those solar systems. So I know we got in the weeds there a little bit, but just be very cautious with solar. If you can pay it off with one check and you are comfortable knowing that in the future, the maintenance expense is going to creep in, and or a roofing situation is going to create some kind of challenge for you, and you're comfortable with that, rock it. Right. So I got long-winded on that, but it's a really good question that is specific. So hopefully that helped, Jane. Hopefully that helped. Okay. Desi, how about some videos on local parks and outdoor activities that are specific to certain areas? Absolutely. We'll definitely do some more of that stuff this summer. I actually have some boating videos on the docket, like rental type of things, like where can you go and do some of the best kayaking and see things like manatee. And I absolutely got that on the agenda for 2025. So we will get into that for sure. Love it. All right. So James Lemon says, moving to Brandon in a few weeks. Shout out. Congratulations, James. Happy for you, my man. Yeah. Bill's Auto. Have you heard of Canton, Michigan? Yes. I grew up next to the high school. I lived in the Sunflower 2 neighborhood there. And I graduated from Plymouth, not Canton. But if anybody's from that area, you know that our school systems are all melted together. So I'm right there, Bill. I know exactly where it's at. Lived off of Canton Center and Sheldon Roads, my man. So right there. Yes, Canton has IKEA. Exactly. The only IKEA that everybody had to travel to. 100%. Love it. Brendan says, hi, Juan. I've heard you mention it. It's very difficult to get pool with new construction. Would you have more info on how the process works? And is that a key feature we would be looking for? Okay, cool. Yeah, great question. And guys, forgive my eyes for looking down, but I've changed this a little bit because the camera was getting funky. So there are, and this changes all the time. Brendan, the thing I want you to understand is it depends on the market, right? If builders want more buyers, they're going to do more things to incentivize you as a home buyer. For 3 years, they laughed at us when we talked about putting a pool in a home, unless it was like full custom. And when we talk about full custom, you talk about $2 million plus. But recently, like we have a client closing right now on a home by West Bay where the pool's actually included in the build process, which is our first in almost 4 years because no one was doing this prior to that. Homes by West Bay has been offering this, and there are some other home builders that are starting to offer it. A lot of semi-custom home builders, when you get into that 1 million to 3 million range, will offer a pool built in with the house. But when it comes to the production builders, like the bigger companies like Pulte and those guys, we're not seeing a whole lot of that yet. Now, that's one thing, but there are builders that will do it like Homes by West Bay. They are a semi-custom builder, one of my personal favorites, honestly. I think you get a tremendous amount of home, and I love the finishes, a lot of value in your dollar there. And they are offering pools. So sharing that with you, okay? If you have to build one. Now, here's what I want to say. I'm going to give general numbers here. I don't install pools. I don't own a pool company, but this is what I see when my clients get quoted. You can build a pool for as low as $40,000, but that will be just the pool. And typically that's like one of those insert pools, not an actual concrete pool. But let's just say for the sake of conversation on the low end, as low as $40,000. Now that will not include the surround, meaning the concrete that goes around it or the brick pavers that go around it. It will not include an outdoor kitchen or any type of water feature, meaning a spa, okay, or hot tub, or if you guys think of it that way, but a spa or any waterfalls or fountains or a sun deck, if you will. That will not be included. What we typically see when people are adding a pool, a bird cage, which is a screened-in enclosure, some sort of kitchen feature and surround, is we see people spending somewhere between $125,000 and definitely can go up from there. So hopefully that helps give you some perspective. You can get it done for less, but if you're going to add the surround, if you're going to add the screen above it, which I highly encourage everybody to do for a lot of different reasons, I'm not going to get into that today. And you're going to do some sort of water feature, maybe a spa and some sort of outdoor kitchen thing, expect to pay $125,000 plus. All right. So, there are some great reputable companies, and there are some companies that don't do a great job too, but great question. Happy to help with that. Gustavo says, nice. You're welcome, my man. Oh, you asked about the budget. Yeah. So feel free to reach out, brother. Like I said, contact info is there. Happy to help on that stuff. Where did I leave off here? Why Diggity says, if I ever relocate, you'll be my guy. Got to run. Welcome. Have a good night, my man. Have a good night. Brian Cook says, can you do a video on what it looks like to relocate, sell everything versus cost to move belongings? I can get you close. And the reason I say that is because I did that 6 years ago. I didn't do that today, right? I haven't had to furnish an entire house in a long time. So I won't be like super specific on it, but it's funny that you bring this up, Ryan. My video this week is the ultimate relocation guide, which gets into a lot of these and some really good resources when it comes to cost of living. I just did our cost of living video. Hopefully you've seen it on the channel, where Kate and I actually share our budget. We share our personal our house's expenses. So maybe that'll help you. All right. Lobo says, of all the many times I've been to Tampa, the only time I ever saw gators was last year when I rented a home on Lake Tarpon. Yeah, I would expect to see them on Lake Tarpon. I won't go in a freshwater lake in the state of Florida. I live here. There's no way. That's not happening. That belongs to the dinosaurs. Busy Bee, Lobo, if I can't see the bottom of a freshwater, right, of the freshwater, we ain't getting in that bad boy. I'm not even getting near the edge of it because I know it's in there. Right. And that belongs to them, not to me. So, yeah, shout out to you, my man. You're a brave soul. I see people water skiing. I'm like, you guys are out of your mind. I'll rent a cabin up in the Carolina mountains or go back to Michigan to ski on a lake or go wakeboarding. I'd gladly do out in the ocean, which I know sounds crazy because there's definitely bigger things in the ocean or in the Gulf of Mexico than there are, but gators scare me to death. So I'm with y'all on that one. Busy Bee says, thanks. Makes me feel better about the alligators for sure. Okay. Gustavo, what's the most promising master plan community around the area? Dude, there's a ton, but it's going to be budget specific and lifestyle specific. All right. So, but there's some great ones. Avalon Park's really good. Dude, I can name them for days. I don't know which one's right for you. All right. But there's some great ones out there. Shout out to Stacy. She tried, man. I saw her kept getting in the waiting room. She tried like 3 times to join us tonight, but her internet was not working. So it happens, right? Stacy says, sorry for having internet issues tonight. Most definitely can find a beautiful home in Wesley Chapel with a $450 budget. Love it. Still found a way. That's my girl right there. She's gonna find a way to make it happen. All right. Busy Bee says, I love property tours with prices included. I also like seeing maps as I'm not familiar with the different areas. Can you show inside a clubhouse in particular neighborhoods? Yeah. Sometimes they don't allow us because like they're doing specific community events, but yeah, I'll definitely, I used to do a lot of that when we started the channel. But we veered away just because not as many people were watching it. But I know when you're serious about moving, those are really valuable videos. So absolutely, we'll add some of those back in there. That was already on the agenda for this year. Busy Bee, so happy to do that. All right. Gustavo says, Juan, I'm interested in a nice master plan community with great amenities for 3 kids. Dude, we got you covered. Wesley Chapel's got that in spades. That whole Pasco County, you can find anything you're looking for, even down in Parrish. We'll talk about that when we meet you on Zoom. But absolutely, dude, got you. Playgrounds, dog parks, resort style pools, walking trails. Like, dude, some of these communities have Wi-Fi like throughout the entire community. It's crazy. It's crazy. You can find, trust me, we got lifestyle for days, man. We got you covered. Wake me up when it's low ball time. Good show. Well, there's a line about 6 miles long for that, my brother, but absolutely not a problem. All right, Brian Campbell. How long after moving to Florida did it take for you to stop checking the weather in Michigan, asking for a friend? That's hilarious, dude. Yeah, that's I still here. It's so funny that you asked that. I still do that. And it's mostly because our family's there. And I think that that's just such a Midwestern thing. But like, all right, so here's home, right? Let me get out of the way so I can catch it. So here's home. That's Largo. If I swipe to the next screen over, that's Asheville, because that was the other place we were looking at buying a home. We love going to the mountains in Asheville, but I don't want to be in 23-degree weather ever again. So that's why we wouldn't live there full time. And then if you go over, that's our beach home. And then here's Canton, Michigan. So yeah, man, it is it's on deck. Asking for a friend 6 years later, I'm still doing it. So that's such a good question. Love that. I love to remind myself of why. Today, when I woke up in Florida and it felt like it was 31 degrees, all I did was swipe left, as you could see there. And then it reminded me very quickly why I'm grateful, right? Because the sun was still shining when it was that cool this morning, but it was not like that up north, that's for sure. So love that. My dad called me too. He's like, it's pretty warm today. It's like 26. I was like, oh my God, dude. We have 2 varying opinions about what that actually means. But it's a great question. All right. Do you consider 2 Rivers too far away from the major retailers? I'm debating between there and Wesley Chapel or even further west. Thanks in advance. Mauricio, it's a good question. To me, right now, this is a personal thing. So I want you to hear me on this. Personally, Zephyr Hills is too far east for me, but I live near the beach. I'm a beach baby. So hear me on that. But right now, the retailer thing specifically, I mean, dude, yeah, you got to drive. You're going to be 30 minutes to Costco, 35 minutes to Costco. If that's important to you, 20 minutes to the Wiregrass Ranch, the shops at Wiregrass Ranch, yeah, outdoor mall. So that's not terrible. But right now, Zephyr Hills doesn't have the amount of retailers that would support my ideal lifestyle. But that may not be the situation for you. So I need to know just a little bit more, bud. We probably won't be able to cover all that tonight, but that's a great question. Wesley Chapel definitely has way more amenities than Zephyr Hills. So maybe that'll help just give you a little bit more insights. And then even further west of there, now you start to get a little bit more rural again. Odessa doesn't have as many, and Orlando Lakes doesn't have as many amenities as Wesley Chapel does either. Wesley Chapel is really kind of the epicenter. That Wesley Chapel Lutz corridor there, like right where they butt up 275 and State Road 54. Forgive me if I'm not the right state road there. But that's kind of like the retail epicenter and where everything is. And what you're talking about is on both sides of there. But great question, man. Great question. All right. Jane says, so we're going to be in Lake what is that? Pedasket area in Lando. Okay, sorry. Lando Lakes. There will have alligators for sure. I don't know. We are building a pool, and it's $150,000. There you go. So, this is great. So, who asked the pool question again? Because that was a wonderful question. Let me go back up to it. I think it was it Brian? Forgive me, Brendan. I think it was about the pool. Yes, Brendan asked about the pool. Just kind of going through the comments here. Jane says they're building a pool, very expensive, $150,000. And if you're on a retention pond, at some point you're probably going to see an alligator. So just keep that in perspective. But thank you for sharing that insight. That's great. 150,000. So that's right in that kind of wheelhouse we were talking about. B says lived in Florida for 23 years, and all over, never seen an alligator, never even once. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like you don't know. I mean, it's hard to say, right? And then you go down to the Everglades and drive through Alligator Alley. They call it that for a reason, right? So it just is going to depend on where are you living. They don't want to be around us any more than we want to be around them. That's the way I always try to help people understand. You know what I mean? So just kind of keep that in mind. Kiara says, love your cost of video living. Sorry, love the cost of living video one. You're welcome. I love when Kate comes on. Y'all, if you like that, can you put that in the comments so I can share that with my wife? She is terrified to get on camera, like most people are that don't do this for a living. She's terrified, but I think she just does such an excellent job at being real. Like this time was great. I basically just interviewed her and like took notes, and she loves to share that stuff because she knows how hard this is. We did it. We sold everything and moved, and we didn't know anybody here, so we know what that's like. We feel you. It's tough. How are the kids going to make friends? How are we going to make friends? There's a lot of questions there, right? A lot of questions. So we're happy to help with you guys. All right. Greg says, I was born and raised Safety Harbor, moved away when I was in my 20s. I have to move back as my parents are getting older. Not sure what you were wrapping up there with, but Greg, welcome back if you're here already, or welcome back once you come. Safety Harbor is a beautiful community. We've moved some families up there. Philippi Park is one of my favorite places in all of Pinellas County. Really, really cool town. It's a great place. The bowling ball house. Shout out to the bowling ball house, by the way. All right. B, alligators are overblown. Been here for 23. Yep. You mentioned that. Thank you for sharing that again. I think that's great. Merlin says, you guys are all with the comments tonight. Thank you guys. Merlin says, my wife and I are planning to move back to Tampa area this summer. How soon in the process do you recommend finding a realtor? It depends on when you're trying to make that jump. If you're buying a new construction, Merlin, it could take as long as 12 months, depending on what type of builder you're going to use. But for sure, no less than 3 months. Because if we're going to help you, we really need to know what that ideal lifestyle looks like, so we can narrow things down for you. And are you doing it sight unseen? Are you planning on flying down? Do you want to do some kind of hybrid? We're here to help, man. Jump in. Like I said, you can text me directly. That number on the screen takes you here. Or you can go to the website and or in the description below and schedule a Zoom call with us directly. Happy to help you guys. Okay. B says, where's my girlfriend? That's my wife, bro. And if you're wondering if I outkick the coverage, the answer to that is yes. There is no doubt about it. That is my wife. That is Kate. She's my way better half, man. No doubt about it. All right. Greg says, born and raised in Safety Harbor. Have to move back to the area as my parents are getting older. Okay, so you're finishing what you're saying there. It's hard to find a decent home down there for $500,000. It definitely can. Pinellas County is not cheap. I don't know when you left, but Pinellas County, on average, people call and ask about this. Like, if you move to Wesley Chapel, you can buy this. You're going to get 1,000 square foot more, typically 1 bedroom more, and the home's going to be brand new versus the same dollar in Pinellas County. But they'd be by the beaches here. So everybody knows coastal real estate costs more, but Greg's pretty right. Can you find one for less? Yeah, but Safety Harbor specifically is definitely one of the more expensive communities when it comes to the median sale price or the average sale price. So thank you for sharing that, Greg, and you're spot on there. But reach out. You need help? Let me know, man. We're here to help. Abby says there are a ton of new build videos out there, but the videos of old neighborhoods would be cool. Okay, cool. Like you guys said, you want more established neighborhoods. We'll make sure we do that. Bill says, is Fort Myers a nice spot? Sure. Again, depends on your lifestyle. What are you trying to accomplish? It's slower. Definitely has had more challenges with hurricanes overall. But again, you live on the coast. That's just, you're dealing with that. Like it's always in the back of our mind about what can or what's potentially could be out there. But the answer to that is yes. Just is it right for you? I don't know. Good question though. Stacy says, I check Indiana weather more often than Florida weather. Yeah, we know it's going to be sunny in Florida. That's not count. Even on the rainy days, the sun's coming out. We know the deal. Man, you guys got a lot of questions. I'm not even going to get to the content because we're just freaking answering questions. Like, this is great. You guys are awesome. Keep them coming, by the way. Put them in the descriptions later. Isaiah says, been watching several of your videos and they've been great. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Do you predict houses will go down in price and inventory up here in 2025? Looking to move around August time. Dude, that's a great question. Here's what I know. That we are currently in a buyer's market in Tampa Bay. So to answer your question from a macro perspective, that has already occurred. If you're looking for a 2008 style crash, that is not coming. Is inventory going to continue to go up? Yes. And the reason being is because we have new construction home builders here, a lot in the Tampa Bay area, which has held prices at bay. If we didn't, we would be as expensive as Miami. So that's actually a huge benefit. However, do I see a crash coming? No. Can you expect more downward pressure on pricing for the foreseeable future? Yeah. Interest rates went back up above 7% again today. I mean, it's nuts out there right now, and there's no foreseeable relief on that. So I think you're going to see more of that. Is now a good time to negotiate? The answer to that question is yes. Okay. Some homeowners are going to be much more willing to negotiate than others. Are you going to find those 100,000 off type of things? Not realistically. But great question, man. August, I don't know what August holds. Our buying season is starting now. And if the last, just to give you guys perspective, I've already had 10 Zoom calls with people looking to move here. That's more than one a day, right? Today's the 7th. So our phones are heating up. We're having more meetings, more people are reaching out. And if that's an indication, then we're going to start to pick up as usual. Typically May, June are the biggest, are the most home sales. And then it starts to slow down August, September. So hopefully that gives you some insights. Abby says, Mark, hey, if I can make that happen, trust me. So hard to get her on camera because she just, she feels like she's got to get ready. And I understand and I appreciate it. Kiara says the same thing. She's a natural on camera. She's awesome. Desiree said, I love how much comfortable Kate seemed on camera this time around. I agree. She definitely was more like just free with how she spoke. I tried to give her less, just like less framing on. I just tried to interview her. I think that was helpful. Love seeing you and your wife together. Needs to be every video. Well, somebody's got to do a great job at raising the family and homeschooling our kids. And that happens to be the boss, just FYI. But I will pass that along. So thank you. She will be grateful to know that she made an impact on you guys. Corey says, love videos with Kate is on. She's so sweet, genuine, puts all the subjects y'all talk about in such a different perspective. I agree. I think like a dude, her perspective grounds me. My man, that is amen to that, brother. There is no doubt. I appreciate that. And I agree. If without her, I'd be a crazy fool. That's for sure. All right. Jen says, I'm late. Well, you're not. You've made it. You made it. We're late. We're still running right now on all these amazing comments we have. So happy to be with you, Jen. Thanks for checking in with us tonight. Jane says, can you please do a video around her community there, specifically at the Cove at the Lake? Yes. 20 home gated community. Yeah. And Jane, if it's gated, I need more insight on it. Can you do me a favor, Jane? Send me an email. Send me an email about the community because you're building there now, so you're contracted. If that'll be my easy way in, I can reach out to the building team. I can have Stacy do it too, but give me the insights. I would love to know why you bought it. All right. So the email is in the description below. It's info@truelivinggroup.com. You can see it, but I would like to know why you bought there. Okay. That'll help me kind of frame out that video. You asked the question. I'm happy to do it, but what I really want to know is why you bought there, why you chose, because ultimately that's what other people want to know. If you look at the comments and the questions today, that's what people were getting at. So happy to do it. All right, Jen says, sorry I had to work. I wanted to ask about any information you may have on Victoria Lakes in Odessa. Are the model homes up yet? Yep. Jen, you need to talk to Stacy. You need to talk to Stacy. She's we're working on that area right now. But she unfortunately isn't on the chat, or I'm sorry, on the live stream. She is in the chat tonight. But Jen, same thing for you. Reach out to us. Contact information is down below. Happy to get you some specifics, but I want to know what you're looking for specifically. Okay. But happy to do that. Oh, let me see. We got partial. Okay. In 6 years of living in Tampa, have you and your wife ever taken a trip to Miami? If so, do you prefer flying or driving? We'll be traveling back and forth between the two cities quite often. Okay. Great question. Two things. Yes, I have driven to Miami twice for to go see an event. My father-in-law lives in Jensen Beach, which is the same time. It's the same drive time to Tampa and Jensen. We usually drive. You can fly to Miami out of Tampa very inexpensively. The times I drove was because I was meeting friends. We were doing stuff. I didn't want to rent a car when I got there. That is the challenge. If you have a way to fly to Miami from Tampa and then you don't have to have a car, do it. Because the flights will be inexpensive. You'll probably find them for, I don't want to quote, but I've seen, if I can get back and forth to Metro Detroit for $80 one way, you're going to be able to do it really cheap to Miami, because it's going to be Spirit, FYI, flies directly into Tampa, but you can suffer for, an hour or 40 minutes versus driving 4.5 hours kind of thing. So great question, Mr. Jackson. All right. Love Kate. Can you always show the yard, as I will be bringing 4 dogs? 4 dogs. Oh my goodness. And so a garden in the back is a necessity with a fence. Yeah. And just for perspective, our lot sizes are smaller than Oakland County on average. Our lot sizes are typically like 40 by 100 or 40 by 120. Depends on what you have back home, but usually, like, I don't know where you're at in Oakland County, but on average, I saw 0.23 acres. A small lot was 0.18. Down here, we're like 0.9. Not all of them, but the smaller ones are like that. So just keep that in mind. Oh, got it. Stacey, hi, Jen. I'll send you an update. There you go. Y'all, I had stuff that I wanted to get to tonight. Let me just give you one nugget before we sign off here, because I have to wrap this up and get my butt home to my family. But I do have one thing I want to share with you. And I just want to say to everyone who contributed tonight, thank you. I love this when you guys are engaged. I love when you're giving me feedback. Thank you for all the wonderful video ideas. I will absolutely make a consideration for all of them, put them in the queues. I'll try to remember who it was, and I'll even try to give you a call out on the video when that happens. I'll do my best. All right, I'll do my best. But you guys gave some great insights on the type of videos you would like. Thank you so much. And if you're watching this later, do that. But I do want to give you guys this one thing here happened in Tampa that I found was very interesting. So let me share this with you real quick. It's in the rumor mill, but this is one of those, I think, cool rumors that is worth sharing. All right. For those hockey fans or not hockey fans, this is not why I find this interesting, by the way. I'm a Red Wings fan, will be for life. I was so devastated when Stevie came down here and built this team and they started winning championships. It's a whole nother conversation. However, I think this is really cool. All right. Tampa Bay Lightning set to host an outdoor game for the NHL Stadium Series in 2025-2026. So if you're not familiar, every year the NHL does this. They call it I think it's the Holiday Classic. I always forget. But they do this outdoor hockey game. Now, it's Florida, y'all. I don't know how you're going to get away with this, but I do think that it's really, really cool. Now, we have ice rinks here during the winter. We've talked about this before. If you go down to Curtis Hickson Park, you can go skate on an ice rink. But I've also seen that ice rink on an 80-degree day. Then it was wet. But regardless of that, check this out. They're talking about having, here's the rumor. This rumor, we very much hope becomes a reality, is what the comment says here from That's So Tampa. It says, the Tampa Bay Lightning could join cross-state rivals, the Florida Panther, in hosting an outdoor game as part of the NHL's 2025-26 Stadium Series, according to Sports Illustrated. So if anybody's got a little bit of insight, I think it's that. This comes from a podcast. What I heard was that this wouldn't be the Lightning's first time playing outdoors, because they played the Predators outdoor, but they talked about that this game could take place at Raymond James Stadium. And if you don't know, that is where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers play. That's where the ReliaQuest Bowl was, where I just took my son to see his very first University of Michigan game where they beat Alabama. Go Blue, baby. But what a really cool, oh man, I would love to go to that. I don't care what's happening on the ice. You want to talk about a good time? Listen, Tampa's known for pirates, y'all. Like there's a pirate ship in that stadium. We sat right by it. And we've got the Gasparilla Fest coming up here and all those other things. Like this is just such a really cool potential event. I love this. This says fun. And the reason I'm sharing this with you guys as a community is because I'm all about the fun things that happen in Tampa. I also wanted to talk really quickly. There's more stuff, but I definitely want to bring this up. The Florida State Fair is coming up. That takes place in Tampa. It's in the park out there. I'll show you here. But this was voted one of the top 5 state fairs in the country. Right? Some people are like, "Who cares?" It's a cool event. There's a lot of cool things. We get the Strawberry Festival that happens out in Plant City. There's a lot of cool things that happen in the area. This is what happens when you're able to take advantage of having a wonderful community that loves to live outdoors. So happy to share these things with you guys. Thank you so much for all the great comments tonight. Like I said, please, 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 if you're watching this later, let us know in the comments below, what type of videos would you like to see in 2025? Happy to bring that to you. Love that. And then also, I love this. Brian says, we were inspecting our new build in Parish with Marcia. God bless her. Absolutely, my brother. And their gator on our shore to greet us. So there you go. If gators freak you out in Florida, may not be a fit. And I love that, right? You had one person say that they had never seen one in the 23 years that they had been here, 28 years or whatever that was. So thank you for sharing that. And then here you got Mr. Campbell said they moved down there looking at their new construction and they had a gator right on the shore there. So, hey man, welcome to Florida, right? This is it's like Jumanji down here. You know, you just never know what you're going to come across. It's been a huge blessing for our family, and we've had our challenges, y'all. I try to keep it as real as I can on this channel with you guys. You're so amazing. Thank you for being just such a wonderful community. Thank you for allowing us to serve you. God, last year was our best year in real estate. We had served so many amazing families. And even with the challenges we faced and, you know, losing a dear friend and one hell of a real estate agent and Marcia Railton, you know, you guys' reach outs to us about her. We've been able to share that with the family. I mean, y'all, thank you so much. It's just been incredible. Thank you for an incredible 2024. We look forward to serving you in 2025. And thank you for the feedback on these videos. So grateful. And as we say every single time we sign off, y'all, good night, God bless, and go out and live that Tampa life.